Welcome to round 2 of the Open Division at the MSDGC. We start you off at Pyramid's Gold Course on a spectacular August afternoon. Looking at our leaderboard, Kevin McCoy is on top at 11 strokes under par after shooting a 43 on the silver course.
This is a tough left-to-right shot. To have any chance at a par, he'll need to make that turn and get good distance.
You got good distance off a tree, Steve.
That screams bogey.
Walter Haney now.
Perfect shot by Walter.
Big J Redding now from Iowa throwing a champion Firebird.
The Firebird is an overstable disc. Jay's going to throw a short Anheuser shot and let the disc do the work, fading back left at the end of its flight.
Perfectly done. Moving to hole 2, McCoy leads Haney by 1 with Jay Redding's birdie. He has gained 2 strokes on Kevin McCoy and trails only by 3. Too early for the pressure to set in, Steve?
I'd say so. Kevin's feeling no pressure with a beautiful drive like that, setting himself up for a good shot at birdie.
Which he nails. Sonderfan birdies, Moser and Haney par the hole. Let's look at number 3 with Jay Redding in the box.
3 is a short, sharp right to left. Jay Redding throws it. It gets a nice kick right to left, setting himself up for a good shot at birdie.
And we jump ahead now to hole 4. Mike Moser on the tee pad, and Mike throws a roller.
That is an unorthodox approach to this hole.
It's looking tasty.
But it works.
McCoy goes straight at the pin.
That's the thin gap, Mike, and you've got to be perfect. That disc turns a bit to the right, kicks off a tree.
Oh.
Kevin's looking at a par.
Mike Moser now for birdie, 45 feet away.
He flies by. Now he's looking at a 30-foot par save.
I have been saved for par. I said, can I get a hallelujah?
Not for me, buddy.
Meanwhile, on number 5, we've got water, a hanging basket, and Jay Redding with a bright orange shirt.
You just want to get over that bridge and into that valley. That'll set you up for a birdie. And Jay is set up.
Chris Heisel throws a flick.
Down. That's pretty good down.
Dr. Doug's a lefty. He's going to want to throw this disc to the left side of the alley and have it fade right.
Come on, dial it up. I'm talking to you.
Hey, that branch has got a PhD.
He's wet. That's OB, and that's a stroke. Dr. Doug's looking at a bogey.
Matt Peckham joins the doctor with a bogey, and we move on to hole number 6. Jay Redding sets himself up for a birdie.
Hole 6 is a short right to left.
And Dr. Doug, on another tough hole for Southpaws, floats it over the basket.
Dr. Doug was a bit high there. He got a nice kick out of it.
And a birdie. Let's look in on Jeff Cahill now, playing on the 3rd card, hole number 7.
Jeff gets a fantastic drive straight up the gut, straight as a string, easy par on the tough 7th hole.
Tim Walsh's 2nd shot goes high and into a tree.
He's going to be about 45 feet out, looking at the basket through a couple of trees, and hitting the par.
All over it.
Looking at play from the 4th card now, Steve Brinster on hole 8. He's 7 strokes off the pace.
That is a great shot to save par on the tough hole 8.
Nice.
Back to the lead card, Mike Moser on hole 6. Listen to this.
Go in. Almost did. I didn't even see it. It's right there.
After a star frame on 5, Moser hits the top of the basket, and we're looking at another star frame.
That's how these two plays should hold. Hello?
Exactly.
That's how these two holes should play for the lead card.
Let's look back at Jeff Cahill on hole 8.
Jeff throws a champion coyote. That's a slow disc. Just holds a straight line. Floats all the way down right through that tight gap.
Told you, throw the coyote.
Still on number 8, Tim Walsh's 2nd shot from 115 feet away.
That is a great float shot and an easy par.
Nice.
Walter Haney now on 7.
This is a tough hole. Big distance, tight gap. About half of our golfers score bogey or worse on this hole.
But not Walter Haney, Steve. He gets enough behind that drive. Meanwhile, Mitch Sonderfan gets both cheeks into that drive.
His shot doesn't fade left. Gets about the same distance as Walt. He's actually got a better look at birdie.
Kevin McCoy now for birdie from 65 feet. Mitch for birdie.
He putts very fast.
And accurately. Walt Haney now putts for par.
That was a 35-footer to save par. He's got popsicles in his veins.
It's icicle, Steve.
Yum.
Dr. Doug now on hole 8.
That disc just keeps fading right.
And then kicks
Like
left,
that.
which is exactly where you want to be.
Just turn.
Chris Heisel. Oh, no. Oh, that's a double bogey. Brent Sanderson.
Par!
Yeah, baby.
And Mr. Brinster in a low squat.
Watch that tree on the left. His disc is going to kick off that tree and land in Golden Land.
With rivers of honey and nougat. Back to the lead card now. Kevin McCoy leads Walter Haney by 1, and Mitch Sonderfan and Jay Redding are tied at 3 back.
Mike Moser and Brent Sanderson round out the top 6, 4 and 5 back respectively.
Kevin McCoy's drive winds its way through the woods.
That disc stays on the hillside, setting Kevin up for a birdie.
Mike Moser on his second shot makes a run at birdie. And Mitch Sonderfan for birdie.
That's birdie!
Amazing how you get those high notes. Walter Haney throws a bogey on 8, and now we jump to Dr. Doug.
Yeah! Deuce! Count it!
I can count to 2.
That is a great shot.
Chris Heisel follows up with a par, and we look now at Steve Brinster's foursome on hole number 11.
Off the tee with a beauty. Steve shows us the route as he lays it 10 feet from the base of the pin.
Bob Graham takes a run.
Ooh.
Baskets are not always our friends.
Mitch is our friend, however, and his second shot on hole 9 is about 180 feet away through a tight gap.
And he parks it.
Mike Moser.
He's looking at bogey.
Dr. Doug on hole 10.
Dr. Doug fires it through the smack gap.
Oh.
They did.
Heisel on hole 10.
Chris is looking at the WWE SmackDown.
Here's Gerald. Don't call me Daryl Davis.
Birdie.
Adam Goodman.
Parked for the par on hole 12.
And Bob Graham saves par. Looking back to our lead card on hole 10, Walter Haney's second shot looks bleak.
He's probably thinking to himself, I'm glad I'm Walter Haney.
Wow. Wow, that's spectacular. Mitch now for par. He needs it to stay 3 back.
He's 4 back now.
Well, that's if he makes this. And he does. Well, you're lucky. Still on 10 now. Mike Moser's birdie attempt.
Low and outside. That's a par. Mike Moser stays 6 back.
Dr. Doug now.
That's 3 birds in a row for the doctor. And that's a turkey.
Jeff Cahill on number 12. Jumping to the 4th card on lucky hole number 13, Steve Brinster wants to keep this one low and straight.
That is a great drive. Fades
Yeah.
left, sets the Brinster up for a par on the toughest hole in the court.
And now Bob Graham.
Who is this guy?
I say that's Bob Graham.
With an even better drive on 13.
Back to the lead card on hole number 11. Mr. Haney, still 3 back. Mitch Sonderfan and Jay Yeti Redding are 4 back.
Nice.
That's where how you went.
His was more true than mine.
I like you guys are gonna throw through there. I'm gonna throw through there too.
And that's why they're on the lead card.
On to 12 with Jay Redding and his tee shot.
He's 4 down after 11, and the course record is -2.
There it
You got
is.
a re-tee. You didn't even hit a tree. Doesn't count.
Tim Walsh here needs to go up and down to save double bogey.
And he hits a tree. And he hits a tree.
And Tim, being a Sox fan, misses his bid for triple bogey.
That hole dropped him from 8th to 20th in a tight field.
On Kevin McCoy's 12th, he's 3 up on Walter Haney now. And drops it like it's made of pillows.
That was a great shot. He set himself up for a pretty easy par. Unless he forgets to let go of the disc and pulls it into a Christmas tree.
Walter Haney for bogey. Call it a double.
That means if Mitch Sonderfan hits this putt, he moves into second place.
On to lucky 13. Dr. Doug is predictably straight and consistent, Steve.
Mike, he reminds me a lot of myself.
Chris Heisel now with a long putt for bogey. Gerald, don't call me Daryl Davis on 14. This is his second shot.
He wants to get it through the gap to the left of the flagpole and tuck it in under the base of the pin.
Chains. Kevin McCoy now on 13. Pulls his drive right.
That was a great kick.
Moser -8 on the tee.
Right down the gullet.
Steve, Walter Haney's been slumping.
He double bogeyed hole 12 and starts off slow on 13, pulling that disc to the left.
And he doesn't like it. Mitch Sonderfan's second shot, well, that's not much better than his first.
He's probably looking at a double bogey here. And Walter Haney turns things around quickly with a great second shot around the corner, setting up a great bogey save.
Mike Moser now from his knees. His birdie run at the goal basket is high.
He gets a drop-in par on the toughest hole in the course.
With McCoy and Sonderfan pulling double bogeys on 13, only 4 strokes now separate the top 5 players. Mike Moser for par.
Oh, bouncing off the top of the basket.
McCoy for par, nails it. Mitch Sonderfan for par, nails nothing. Walter Haney for par.
Count it.
Moving to hole 15, Dr. Doug is throwing at the gold basket past the silver.
Nice nestle.
And to the lead group on 15, Haney remains 3 back of our leader.
That's a beautiful hyzer shot. Gets a little bit of a skip, ends up about 35 feet from the pin.
And Kevin McCoy is our leader. Sometimes leaders hit trees. And Moser with his tee shot on 15.
That's a beautiful hyzer. He sets himself up for an easy birdie.
Beauty.
Mitch's approach is high and floaty.
That kick off the tree is going to keep him in bounds, set himself up for a drop-in par.
Walter Haney, that is a long putt for birdie. And Kevin McCoy, straight ahead into OB if he misses.
This is risky. He may think about laying up.
Well, he'll lay up when it's winter and he's on a beach in the Bahamas sipping Mai Tais with other people who make big-time putts, Steve.
Mike Kernan, birdie!
Yep.
Moving on to Jay Redding on number 17. He's fallen to 2 under, but is still tied for the course record.
That is a splendid drive. Leaves him set up for a chance at birdie. Birdie!
Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Kevin McCoy is in the lead at -12. Walt and Jay Yeti Redding, 3 back at 9 under. And Mitch Sonderfan is in play at 4 back.
Mike Moser's a nickelback.
Walter Haney, so straight. And for birdie,
Oh, Walter Haney bounced off the basket on 15. He bounces off on 17. He's leaving strokes on the table.
Jay Redding for ding.
If he gets a bogey or better on his last hole, he will break the course record.
Dr. Doug deuce. And Chris Heisel, 11 shots off the pace, also nails a birdie. Steve Brinster now on 2.
That is a beautiful drive. He sets himself up for an easy birdie.
Mike Moser on hole 18, his last hole of the round.
He's still a nickel back. Nails the drive. Settles in the red clay at the base of the pin. Easy birdie for Moser.
Walter Haney.
Ah, you're killing me, Walt. Another missed putt. You're 3 off the pace with 3 missed putts.
And Jay Redding for his second shot. Wow.
He's got the par on hole 1. He breaks the course record by 2.
Looking at Tim Walsh's tee shot, he's at +4, Steve.
He takes the local route.
Timmy.
Gerald Davis for birdie.